These are all the real food ingredients that provide your body everything it needs to build size and muscle. Now, let's get it faster. Flex Food is 46 real food ingredients on demand for real muscle building meals and real results fast.
This is Scott Welch, Muscle Insider Magazine. I have three special guests today. Obviously, I'm going to start off with 212 Mr. Olympia champion, Shaun Clarida. We got Ian Bell, director for Mutant, PVL, North Coast, all that sort of stuff, brand director, and CEO Jim McMahon. How are you guys doing today?
Excellent.
Great. Doing awesome.
Thanks for having us on, Scott. Awesome.
Okay, so listen, I'm going to start off, Shaun. I've got to ask you, obviously, what is it like now? I mean, we saw the news a few weeks ago about you signing. They teased on it. What has been like now that you're on Team Mutant? How's the ride been so far?
For me, it's like relief. I feel like this literally has been like 7 years in the making. I had first met Ron. I mean, I remember the original crew, Matt, Ron, all those guys back in the day. And it was always my dream to be a mutant. And I actually sent Jim a bunch of pictures recently. Like, I was wearing the clothing before I was an athlete, buying the product before I was an athlete, was a huge fan. And just, timing was, was everything, and at the time it just didn't fit. It didn't make sense. And obviously with the past couple of years, everything going on in the world, it just wasn't good timing. And then Jim and I started talking recently, just talking, about just bodybuilding and things like that. And a conversation came up and, we decided to obviously join forces. And, he's known me forever. He's heard my name around the office for many, many years, and for me, this is something that, this, as me getting a little bit older, having been with some good companies in the past, for me, this is it. This is home from now until, the rest of, my career and beyond, hopefully.
We're lucky to have him.
Yeah, very much.
Now, I'm going to ask you, I mean, in terms of the deal here, I mean, Jim and Ian are obviously going to put you guys on the hot spot now, but how long was this deal in the works before you brought on the Giant Killer?
Wow. Shaun already alluded, this may have taken seemingly a number of years, but I think we hopped on it pretty fast in real time when the reality of everything started to hit. I mean, the last 2.5 years hasn't been very easy for a lot of companies and businesses and people, obviously. So we had to come through the last 2 years of whatever was going on around the planet. And then when we started to come out of that, it became more obvious that, okay, listen, let's get back to what Mutant does best. Let's keep it real, keep it authentic. And Shaun Clarida is one of the best at keeping it real and keeping it authentic. And when you finally got past all that crazy stuff of the last 2 years, it was finally time just to, pull the trigger. Let's do this. It was that simple.
Yeah, and we're, Jim will tell you too, we're very conscious of our, of our locker room. And I think we kind of had a repositioning with our athletes. We got pretty aggressive in putting some new people on the team, but they were very sort of deliberate additions, right? I mean, Miss Olympia, when no one was really looking in that direction, Sean Ray obviously as an ambassador kind of the year before, but, diverse, but also making sure that we really have a connection there. And a lot of people across a lot of different walks, and Shaun, no better example than fitting in, but great with the fans and humble. I know he looks at himself, you read that you kind of approach everything as the underdog. Yeah. It's a great kind of, synergy. You got the Giant Killer, you have Miss Olympia, you kind of got the OGs with Ron and Dusty. We've got a lot of great young talent coming as well. So it's a real nice fit to have Shaun on board, right?
And I think that it speaks to what a mutant is. I mean, a mutant can be 5'2", a mutant can be 6'5", like Jamie Christian. It comes in all different shapes and form and sizes. And anytime that I've spent over at the Mutant booth and you see the sort of mutant nation itself, and you see the diversity of all the mutants that are from different walks of life, I think that that addition was really smart. Listen, Shaun, I want to ask you something. Obviously, what was it like to be in that shoot that you guys did? I think it was the Dragon's Lair gym in Las Vegas. And we saw the whole David versus Goliath sort of thing with you beside the 6'5". Or what was that like? Because I mean, you've done a lot of shoots in your life. Like, what was that experience like?
Yeah, it was great. Jamie and I had spoke at the Arnold's prior to us both being with Mutant, and we had said, we got to link up one of these days and get a get a shoot, not just for us, but for the fans. You know, they want to see the Giant versus the Giant Killer and see how we train. And we're very similar as far as styles and things like that. And it was a great shoot. And obviously we both train the same. We have the same mindset. We're both, you know, deep into prep. He obviously has just recently competed. And I think this was fun. You know, the fans wanted to see that, you know, kind of, you know, two different sides. And then obviously the photo after that went out on IG, you know, we kind of reenacted the whole twins, you know, Arnold and DeVito picture there. So it was fun, man. It was a fun time.
I love seeing the footage of George Pereira doing the barbecue duties.
Someone had to cook all that steak, right, Scott? I mean, you got to feed all this. Got to have some protein.
And the best part was when Ron comes through the screen door and he's eyeing the steaks, and I'm going, no, there's no steaks here. These are not the steaks you're looking for, Ron.
Yeah. Now, Shaun, Jim had talked about how there was a few of the athletes that are prepping, obviously, Andrea Shaw, yourself, and Jamie. What was it like, sort of, was there any times there where there was a bit of rage going on, just having the low carb area, being in a ketogenic state? How was that all?
I mean, I've done this many times. I've traveled. I bring all my food everywhere I go. But there was that one night where Jamie was allowed a cheat night or a cheat meal. And it was just pizza everywhere. It was like Jim had pizza. There was pasta, I think. It was so much different. And we're just sitting there in the corner, you know, just kind of just looking at everything. I'm strong-willed, you know, but still, like, pizza is like one of those things for me. It's like, that's my favorite go-to. But, you know, it was good to see those guys eating and having fun and kind of joining in from afar.
It was good. Shelby was also dieting
Shelby,
too. So she was in the kitchen. We won't get into all the details of the pizza incident, but that whole incident took 4 hours from start to finish. It was a gong show, and we want to thank and congratulate Milos for instigating the whole thing, because he's Jamie's coach. And so we're sitting there at the table, and Jamie gets the text from Milos, you can have a cheat meal tonight. And Dusty, Ron, myself, we're all like, well, let's go.
Salivating. Yeah.
It's just pizza getting tossed around from person to person.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things, I mean, obviously, Ian, I want to talk a bit about it on the brand side. One of the things that makes Mutant special is they know who they are and they know who they're not. Tell me about the importance of positioning and knowing your customer, because you manage obviously the strategy of different brands like PVL, where you have obviously a sport focus, and obviously North Coast. The direction of these are very different consumers. Tell me the importance of Mutant and who you are and what consumer you speak to and why that's important.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of talk about, you know, there's a lot of different mutants, right? I kind of look at it as the unconventional and the exceptional, right? People that are really not afraid to be themselves. Like, I don't care about the noise. I'm myself through and through. You know, leaves humanity behind is kind of one of our chief taglines, but it's really just that, you know, unwavering, you know, notion about I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and getting there at levels that normal people wouldn't put themselves through. I mean, you see what Shaun does in the gym, these weights. I mean, there's a threshold there where everyone else would just go, yeah, I'm not doing this. It's a real commitment to just being the best, right? And not giving an F about it and being irreverent. I mean, you know, our biohazard, like, we are who we are. I mean, that doesn't always fit with everyone. We might scare the soccer mom, you know, but there's something about individuality there that we're very, very proud of. And I think the people that are in the nation are proud of it too, right? I'm just going to be myself no matter whatever anyone else thinks. And I mean, that's really the positioning of Mutant.
And if I could just jump in here real quick as well, that's probably one of the main things that attracted me to Mutant in the beginning, because I've been in this industry almost 20 years, and I've seen companies come and go. And Mutant has been one of the only companies that stood through and through as one of the true hardcore bodybuilding brands and never try to diverse themselves or try to be who they weren't. They've been real from day one. And that's the brand that I felt like this is where I need to be, because I'm the same way. I'm real. I don't change the way I train the person I am. And they're all for that. And this is probably why, this is the reason why it's like, this is the company I need to be with.
Yeah, you know, I've been in the industry for a while, as these folks know, and one of the things that really struck out to me was when you left NutraBio. former CEO stepped in and stopped all the crap talking of people to vouch for the character of you and how great of a person you were and how much great of a leader you were. And that says an awful lot. And I think, Jim, you did the same with Dusty Hanshaw when he is with Condemned for a bit, Condemned Labs. And then later, you guys just play nice. And it's just nice to see you be the consummate professional that you are. And it's just, when I heard that they had signed you, they were telling me something's coming. And when I saw it, I was like, it's just, you've got that to you where you really appeal to those people that your fans just seem to really love you, Shaun. How important are fans to building your brand?
I mean, without the fans, I wouldn't be who I am today. You know, they're the ones that support us, you know, buy our merchandise, come to the shows. Like I said, without them, you know, this isn't me. So I, as an athlete myself, you know, this is what I want to do. I want to give back to the fans. I want to do other content, put up as much content as I possibly can, you know, do the meet and greets. You know, I'm one of the athletes that's, I guess, likes to travel, you know, likes to go to the meet and greets, the expos, all those things, all the shows. I go to all the shows here in New York, New Jersey area, all the amateur shows. You know, a lot of these guys don't do it, but for me, it's like I get to meet the fans. They get to meet me, take pictures, you know, things like that. So, you know, again, I thank them, and this is what I do this for them. You know, obviously I want to win, do it for my family, for myself, but a lot of it's just for them, because you guys don't realize I get a ton of messages every day from people just saying you're an inspiration, especially being a lighter guy. You know, back in the day when I first turned pro, everyone kind of, you know, wrote me off saying you're too small, you're too short, you're never gonna win a pro show. And I didn't listen to the naysayers. I just continued to grind, you know, work my ass off and climb a ladder. And now here I am today as Olympia champion. So now I get the smaller, the lighter guys, the bantamweights, the lightweights, the welterweights. These guys are watching my videos every single day, sending me messages, tagging me in videos saying, you know, because of you, I'm going for my pro card, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. So, you know, for me, that makes me feel good and knows this is exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing today.
And, you know, I was gonna jump in there just to, you know, as proof of a byproduct of, you know, his commitment and the fans and everything. I mean, we posted that great, you know, the video at the mansion of Shaun coming to the door and meeting the crew and the team. That was among our highest engaging posts ever. Just the credibility of it, and a statement to, you know, Clarida's fan base, right? I mean, it's just a lot of people that were excited to see what was up with Shaun. And we really, I mean, we saw it in the numbers, you know, how much importance people place on social media these days. But that was just a really nice statement of the work that he's done on the fan base, right? There's no better testament. You
know, Shaun, I'm going to put you on the spot now. Obviously, these are some of the go-tos, the all-in, obviously, gear and
shameless plug, Scott. Shameless plug. Come on, man. Why we got to be that way?
I mean, you're prepping right now. What are your go-tos now in terms of the Mutant product line? Obviously, you can choose from any of the stuff that they do, but what is in your personal?
If I had to pick my top three, the first one being the Madness, an absolute, like, I'm not a big caffeine guy by any means, but it has just enough caffeine to kind of get me through the workout, give me the energy I need, especially now going into prep. Second thing would be the gear, which are amino acids. We have the sweet tea flavor, which is, I'm a sweet tea guy. Yeah, that
yeah.
I mix that in my jug every single session, and I just sip it throughout the workout. Again, I need like a little bit of a sweet tooth during prep. I can't have anything else good, so this kind of, you know, hits that craving for me. And the third thing is the ISO Surge, which is a chocolate peanut butter flavor. Now, I didn't realize they had that, so I was actually at the Mutant Mansion in Vegas, and I saw it on the kitchen table, and I'm like, what flavor is that? And I literally tasted it for the first time, and I don't think Jim knows this, but I took that jug home with me.
Oh boy.
So at the last day where everyone's kind of dispersing and, hey, take this, take that, I grabbed the jug and then put it in my carry-on. So, you know, those are my three go-tos: the Madness, the gear, and the ISO Search.
Okay.
Hell of a stack.
Going through contest history, the highlight was you. Obviously, we couldn't be talking in an interview with you without talking about you winning the Sandow Trophy, or the version of it for the 212 class.
212, yeah.
But what was that feeling like, you winning the Olympia, and how did life change the next day?
Wow, man. Like, I still get emotional when I watch the video. I don't know if when you said you were there, Scott, you saw me, you know, firsthand. I literally dropped to the floor and just cried, because I literally just thought about 15 years it took to get to that point. All the naysayers, non-believers, you know, all the family and friends I lost along the way. And it said right then and there, this is all worth it. You know, this is a dream come true. And to be one of, you know, the very few champions to actually win that. It's, we all do this. We all, become bodybuilders in whatever division to be the best, to be Olympia champion. And here I am now, as one of the best, being the first one from New Jersey to win it. So it was not big just for myself, my family, my team, but also all New Jersey. We've never had a bodybuilding champion, Olympia champion here. And when I got home, I was celebrated by my gym and even by, the city I grew up in, Hackensack. I got the key to the city last year, which was huge for me.
Wow.
Yeah. So, it was a big deal and something that, again, it's, it felt really good. And obviously losing in 2021 was bittersweet, but it gave me a little bit of rage and it definitely pushed me forward as far as my training goes, mentality goes. And I'm back to where I need to be mentally to recapture that title.
Now, Jim, I'm going to ask you a question. What does it take to get sponsored by Mutant? Like, what do you look for in a Mutant athlete?
Well, that's a loaded question. I mean, there's so many different answers. I think at the end of the day, you gotta live the truth of being disciplined and committed. If you don't have that discipline day in, day out, Shaun, you've been training for 20 years, you said, right? Yeah. And then you look at some of the older guys who are no longer competing, like Dusty and Ron, and Sean Ray. You still got to have commitment. You still got to have discipline, because just winging it on a hope and a prayer is no way to live. And that's one of the things I like about the bodybuilding and the iron game, is that that's what teaches all of us, is that discipline it takes to show up in the gym and do the dieting and everything else that goes with it. If you get to live your life like that, you get to accomplish a lot, and you get to port what you learn from bodybuilding into other areas of your life as well. So for what we're looking for is people who represent that. And so, with Shaun Clarida here, I mean, find me a better representative of that is going to be pretty tough at the end of the day too. And he's known us for 7 years. Him and Rana have a relationship. So, I mean, there's a lot of good things that just fell in line here. And that's about the most honest answer I can give anybody, because we're not looking to sign somebody who's got X number of Instagram followers or X number of TikTok videos. Those things are all great, and we don't want to sound like we're dismissing those things either. But at the end of the day, we're going to be true to the core, bottom line, and we're not going to F around with that. So that's what it takes to be on this team.
Okay, Ian, the products of Mutant are in over 100 countries. You folks manufacture it and you distribute it yourself. I hear you have a real crazy schedule kicking off next weekend in Birmingham, the UK, for the Arnold UK. Tell me all the shows you're doing, because obviously Mutant's been a huge supporter of the IFBB Pro League and all the shows, but because you're in over 100 countries, you have to support everything globally. Take me through a bit of that.
Yeah, I mean, we make a real point of that too, is paying a special attention, to each market, different products sometimes, et cetera, as well. But it's funny too, because we're in the midst, at HQ of having all these different sales meetings too. So a lot of us are all over the place in the country. But yeah, show wise, we're over in Birmingham. We get there for next weekend. Arnold UK, which we're committed to there. Got a couple of weeks. Then we're obviously going to Dubai for the Dubai Muscle Show. So that that will be great. And then we're actually doing some running around at HQ again, and then Olympia in December, which is a little bit of a different spin for everyone, right? We're not quite sure how it'll be received, but it's important. We saw at least a commitment, of people back at shows, with everything that's been going on, and that's slowly been ramping up to get everybody back and to get that. And that, that's where, again, we touch the fan base, right? It's a lot of companies are not doing shows. We talked about it, I think, on your last podcast at length, but it's important to us because it really makes an impact on the market, and visibility there. Meet the Mutants is always big with us. The Mass Challenge, just spreading the word and growing Mutant Nation. But yeah, we got still a commitment to shows, and yeah, the international portion is really ramping up here in the back half. So
love it. And listen, I mean, obviously Olympia 13 weeks out right now. We're going to get into that. And obviously, Shaun, I'm going to put you on the spot on that. But I want to start by looking at 2021. Obviously, you ended up going into the open stream and then winning a pro show. Take me through a bit of that. Why did you go into an open class? What was going on?
Yeah, I'll give you a full breakdown. I mean, that's something I've always wanted to do, you know, and obviously being a giant killer and people kind of saying, well, you've never really gone up against giants. I didn't care. You know, I'm the smallest 212 guy there is, and I've beaten guys, you know, much bigger as an amateur as well. But, you know, that was something I've always wanted to do. And I do believe timing is everything. And again, losing my title at the 2021 Olympia, I said to myself, this is the time. You know, I was actually going to be in Reno anyway with Wolfpack. I was going to be at the show, you know, it was just 2 weeks later. And I sat down with my coach, Matt Jansen, my girlfriend, obviously. And I said, you know, what do you guys think about me, you know, jumping into the open show? And, you know, their main concern was, what would you be happy with? Because they know I want to win, you know, sure. But they know if I don't win, I'm going to go crazy. No, but, you know, so I said, you know, it's an open show. I'm sure it's going to be a deep lineup. I know guys like Sergio doing it, Cedric, Patrick Moore, you know, some big guys, big names. And I said, if I can get to that first call, I think that would be a big deal, you know, being, you know, just, you know, a smaller 212 guy. And I think being a first call would be a big deal. And they said, okay, let's do it. So I reached out to the IFBB. I signed the contract, sent it over. I reached out to Chris Minez, the promoter of the show, letting him know I was going to be there. And so that message went out that Monday before the show. And a lot of people thought it was an error, you know, stick my name on the list. I'm like, nope, it's not an error. I'm doing this show. You know, it's just 2 weeks later after the Olympia, I'll be in shape. And I was going to continue to play my game. You know, I didn't want to, you know, blow up to try to match these guys as far as the fullness, the size. I'm just going to come in, razor sharp like I've done every other show and give them a run. And so here we are now. This is the Sunday of the show, which is rare as well. You know, I've never really done a Sunday show, but we'll get into that as well if you'd like. You know, here I am on stage. You know, I got first call out, which was huge. And then not only first call out, they moved me dead center, and I got Sergio, and then I got Regan. And then you got little old me in the middle. And we're going shot for shot for shot. And the judge, Tyler, is making us work. And then here we at the end, we hear Shaun, Sergio, and Regan step back. And right then and there, you know you're in the top three. You know, and then, okay, this is the real battle now. You know, I got Cedric and I got Sergio and Regan here. And I come back for the finals. And, you know, once again, they call the top three guys out. Me, Regan, and Sergio. And we're going shot for shot for shot, moving us around. You know, at the end of the day, they want to see who's going to break first, in my mind. So I'm always prepared to go to the full 12 rounds. You know, so they're moving us around, making us pose. I'm holding pose. I'm squeezing. I'm getting in there, giving it all I got. And at the end of the night, you know, it's between Regan and myself for the win. And here we are. And, you know, I don't know how it's going to go. And again, I'm just happy to be not just in the mix, not just in the first call out, just to be in the top three, now just in the top two. You know, I just took out, Sergio. So here we are now, top two, myself and Regan. And then here, the last man standing is myself, the giant killer. And the place went berserk. I just dropped down, didn't believe it. You know, again, I gave up 100 pounds to these guys. 100 pounds. I was 174 pounds on stage that day. And the internet went wild. And I finally solidified my name as a giant killer. And it was a great time, great weekend. And I wanted to kind of end 2021 on a high note after losing the title. And it doesn't get much better than that, you know. And for me, that second place at the Olympia just kind of got washed away. And, you know, here I am now going into the 2022 season, qualified for both the 212 and the Open Olympia.
No plan B, right? No plan B, Shaun.
There's never a plan B.
I love it.
There's one thing I have to bring up about that show that kind of led to a lot of other things that happened in the world. And that was Cedric McMillan passing away within 5 months of that show. Did you see any signs on stage? Because his conditioning wasn't what we were used to. Did you see anything from your perspective where he just didn't seem to be as healthy as he used to be?
Yeah, he actually didn't come back for the finals. There was rumor that he had gotten sick. It didn't feel well. And a lot of people don't realize, you know, people give these athletes a hard time when they don't want to come back for the finals. They feel like, oh, they're just chickening out because they didn't place as well as they wanted to. Like, legitimately, he was sick. Mm-hmm. And it showed, obviously. And so now they were, you know, a couple months removed from the show, people probably realizing like, oh, he was serious. It was serious. Like, this is very serious. You know, to put our bodies through what we put our bodies through, these people got to realize that when we pull out from the show, whether it's before the show or during the show, you know, it's an issue. We're fighting an issue. And obviously it showed with Cedric not coming back for the finals that night. And it's been a sad time, not just Cedric. We've lost many, many great champions. Yeah. One of them being my coach, John Meadows. That's you know, right. We lost him right before the 2021 Olympia. And a part of me was lost, you know, and I think I'm not using it as an excuse or a clutch, but I wasn't me on stage because I didn't have John there with me. You know, I was just with John a month before he passed. I was literally on a phone call just days before he passed with him, discussing the Olympia and the plans that he and I had planned for the Olympia and him coming out and being with me. And then when he passed, you know, again, like a part of me was just gone. You know, after that, I didn't go to the gym for a couple of days. I just wasn't myself, and it showed. It really did show. And again, we lost him. We lost, obviously, George as well at the Olympia, which is just, you know, mind-blowing. Again, him being an East Coast guy who I see on a regular basis. Here I am in a gym training. I'm getting a text message that George had just passed. Like, how do I keep going? It's just, you know, one person after the next. And then the same thing, obviously, with Shaun. You know, he came up to me at the Legion after the prejudging, just gave me some crazy advice and said that I just absolutely just was just insane. And here I am with Cedric. Here I am with, you know, Shaun. And a couple months go by, and these guys are gone. Yeah. It's been a scary year for all the athletes, man. And I don't want to keep bringing this up or stress this, you know, to the athletes, but please, guys and girls, get yourself checked out, man. This is very important. You know, that's one thing I did after the passing of Shaun and Cedric. I went and got my heart checked, something I've never done in my career. But my coach, Matt, and I sat and talked, like, we got to make sure we're okay. You know, blood work is good, but we got to take it one step forward and get the heart checked. And I did that. And, you know, thank God everything's healthy, everything's okay. And, you know, obviously being a little bit older athlete, you know, having, you know, a child in a way as well. I want to be here for my family, for my child, and just for myself.
Yeah. Hey, Shaun, for everybody's benefit, was that an echocardiogram you went and got? Or...
Yeah. Okay. Echocardiogram. I got a full calcium score as well. Which came back as a 0. So yeah, those are the things that we need to do.
Yeah.
Excellent advice. Absolutely.
Well said.
Now here we go. I mean, we've obviously got a number of shows coming up, but in 13 weeks, you know, fans want to know, I mean, what are you doing? Are you doing open? Are you doing 212? What's the weight at right now? At least give us a hint on that.
I am 200 pounds as of this morning. I am 7 pounds bigger than I am a year ago today.
Wow, that's phenomenal.
I like it.
Yeah. You know, I can't give you guys an answer. I don't even know yet. You know, I want to do both. I'm going to put it out there. Clear as day. I qualify for both. I've earned the right to do both. I'm still waiting to hear back if I can do both. But if that decision is told or made that I cannot do both, then I have a big decision to make on my own. I have to sit down with my girlfriend and my coach and see what the best decision is. We see where I'm going to go. But like I told Bob Ciccarello on stage at the Legion will not be my last open show. Whether it be another smaller pro show, whether it be the Olympia, possibly the Arnold. But the goal for 2022 Olympia is to be on both the 212 and the Open Olympia stage on that Friday night.
And wouldn't that be awesome for fans? I mean, bottom line,
it's the win, man.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that happens. I won't say much more.
It's all for the fan. I'll say it. You know, it's the fans are the ones that buy the tickets, buy the pay-per-view. They want to see it. Give them what they want. Smart. Period.
Bingo.
And we'll have Andrea Shaw obviously defending the championship there at the Olympia. Obviously, Shaun, hopefully we see you in 2 classes. And then Shaun Ray, I'm sure he has an active involvement running around that place. There's just nobody works harder than him. He'll be a part of obviously the fabric of the Olympia. And obviously the Mutant will be at the expo doing the Mutant Challenge and everything else. This is always good to see. You know, I want to finish off, and I'm going to put you on the spot, but new products, obviously, I want to know what is in sports nutrition coming down the road for Mutant Nation, what apparel we've got. Like, what can you tell me? Jim, you always talk.
I got to take this call. Sorry. You know, I got to take that call right there. Sorry.
He might have to kill you, Scott, if he tells you.
I
that.
know,
You
but
know
you tell Shane Smith, he hints on a little bit on the Stack 3D podcast.
Yeah,
Let's see.
Come on.
Let's see. Put it on the line. Tell me something that we can have here.
Well, okay. So let's call out two obvious ones, and then we won't go much further. So we've got the giant killer here.
Yeah.
And then who's that other guy? That taller guy. There was a photo of
Christian.
That's his name. Yeah. Guy goes to Italy, gets all oiled up and goes on stage. You forget his name sometimes. Anyways, inside joke, everybody, look it up. Anyways, yeah, we got a big promo coming up with one of the powders with Jamie. And that's coming up in the next few months, if I'm not mistaken, Ian. And then the giant killer, Mr. Shaun Clarida. We all know his tagline. And so Mutant and Mr. Shaun Clarida have teamed up, and we are doing a limited drop collaboration apparel on a couple of select items that have been demanded, and I will be reprimanded if I don't do it.
Yeah.
So Shaun has seen the art, big surge. Our art director's done it. Dusty's given the thumbs up as well, and he saw it, and I think Ron saw it as well. So we're like, yeah, we're pretty excited to do this collab with Shaun.
We'll also hint that we do have a unique flavor drop coming across 3 of our products. I won't get into much more than that, but I think, as Jim alluded to too, we continue to really make a point of building kind of what we call our NFL shop, right? The experience for the fan on our websites is important. Getting stuff that you can't necessarily get anywhere else.
Yeah.
Swag drops, clothing drops. Jim's got a lot of unique items in play that I think the fans will really like. So that's equally as part of our strategy.
Hold on.
Next year. Yeah.
It's not just the fans. Dusty's going to be beating down the door to get some of this stuff. He's been jonesing for some of this stuff.
It's pretty cool. We'll have a Halloween drop of a pretty cool campaign. So yeah, look for a lot of unique in and out drops and unique kind of celebrations, if you will, on our website and things like that. So big year for us.
Oh yeah, lots coming. There's always stuff coming. We never sit still. Like, we're humble and happy. That's the thing I've been doing for 30 years in this industry, just humble and happy. And so, I can't do it in the gym as well as Mr. Clarida can, but I can do what I can do, humble and happy and going for it. And so this is what we do over here.
Well, this is great. I'm really excited for you guys all. I mean, I'll be at the Olympia, obviously covering the show on behalf of Mutant. So we'll definitely do some stuff that's down there. And Shaun, obviously, we're going to be rooting for you, hopefully in both classes. So no, it's really exciting to see, and really got to thank you guys for your time today. For those at home, go to iammutant.com. You're going to see the latest, obviously, in their apparel drops. And you can be part of actually their affiliate program. Has been a really cool way to rep the brand out, get exclusives on different new innovations that they come out with, and just be part of the whole culture. Some of the best apparel I've ever seen in the supplement industry, and you guys do it great. So
thanks, Scott. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Scott. Thanks, Scott, to you too. We've had a great partnership this year with you. You never hesitate to bring the latest and the greatest in the news and the heartbeat of what's going on. So we're thankful for you as well.
Awesome. Okay. Over and out.
Thank you, Scott.
Okay.
That was good. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Shaun.
Of course. Thank you, guys. It was awesome.
Okay,
fantastic. Man. Thanks, boys.
All right.
See you guys.
Later, boys.
These are all the real food ingredients that provide your body everything it needs to build size and muscle. Now, let's get it faster. Flex Food is 46 real food ingredients on demand for real muscle building meals and real results fast.